Uh, Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Sudeshna. I'm Assistant Professor of Department of Social Work, Visva-Bharati. Today, I will be presenting my paper on ecotourism and its impact on development. And my case study I've taken from my own state of West Bengal. Okay, so as I said that I would be presenting my paper on impact of ecotourism on development, a case study of West Bengal. I would, I have arranged my paper based on introduction and conceptualizing ecotourism, characteristics of ecotourism in West Bengal, benefits and conclusion. Ecotourism is a new concept in tourism which makes tourism harmonious in coexistence with nature. The International Ecotourism Society defines ecotourism as a responsible travel that conserves the environment and sustains the well-being of local people. Ecotourism is a sustainable form of natural resource-based tourism that focuses primarily on experiencing and learning about nature, which is ethically managed, to be low impact, non-consumative, and locally oriented. World Tourism Organization defines ecotourism as a tourism that involves traveling to relatively undisturbed natural areas with a specified objective of studying, admiring, and enjoying the serenity with its wild plants and animals, so as to see that how it coexists and upholds the cultural integrity and cultural aspects which are found in that area. The World Conservation Union, an international body of biodiversity and ecotourism society, defines ecotourism as responsible travel to natural areas that conserves the environment and sustains the well-being of local people. So as to also see to it that the local population, they gain some economy and profit out of the tourism that is available in their areas. Some of the pictures which shows the nature in its full-fledged flora fauna exhibited without any disturbance of urbanization and total in harmony with nature. So what is the nature and nurture nexus? International Ecotourism Society defines ecotourism as a responsible travel to natural habitats or natural areas. It differs from resort tourism or mass tourism by requiring lesser infrastructure development and low impact on environment. In other words, it is also called a responsible tourism, jungle tourism, sustainable development. These are very prevalent terms which comes in hand with ecotourism, that not only sustains for the present time, but in future as well. It is so much responsible that it sustains for time immemorial. Now, it promotes a lot of endangered species which are fast diminishing. Through ecotourism, it kind of builds in harmony with and preserves the endangered species to get extinct, which is happening in today's world. Now, the key elements of ecotourism are that the existence of sanctuary or nature is given the primary importance. It is ecologically, socially, culturally, and economically sustainable. It involves a lot of participation of the local stakeholders. With it should be a low-profile venture, and it should also be capable of forging a partnership with the existing tourism industry, which is there in that local area. Now, ecotourism has a lot of guidelines, and it falls in it has a synchrony with the it has to have a synchrony with the national ecotourism policy and guidelines. Now, what are these? It has identified the following cardinal principles for the development of ecotourism, which involves local community, which is going to lead to economic development of that area. It should identify the likely conflicts between resource use for tourism and livelihood of the local inhabitants in order to minimize the local conflicts, that often occurs between the resources available and tourism. The type and scale of tourism development should be incompatible with the environment and socio-cultural characteristics of the local community, and it should be planned as a part and parcel of the development strategy, and also ensuring sectoral integration. The ecotourism package must include simple, adequate boarding and lodging facility, which is ethnic in nature. There should be good infrastructural development so far as no road networks that will connect the tourism zones are concerned. There should be self-guided nature trials, nature interpretation centers, wayside exhibits and signage, observation towers, public convenience and garbage disposal facility, so that whichever tourists that may visit that particular area do not face any sort of difficulty, and tourism comes very much at ease. Now, periodic training on ecotourism should be given to the host community, which may include local lodge management, basic education and awareness to the local people who must be facilitating the tourists. They should provide training to the guides who will be the tourist guide, guiding the first timers or the tourists throughout their journey to that particular local place. There should be health and sanitation consideration, which is very much in sync with the demands of the tourism, especially in this pandemic era and pre and post COVID era. We demand health and sanitation. There should be network with the local health bodies, local hospitals, if in case it needs so, if the need be so. There should be skill development and preparation for the local souvenirs, proper code of conducts and proper guidelines for both the host and the tourists concerned. There should be forest and wildlife conservation centers. There should be garbage and pollution control, forging partnership with the tourist and tourism industry. So all sort of facilities which are needed, proper guidance, proper lodge management, proper awareness, proper health and hygiene facilities, proper training to the guides, code of conduct for both the host and the tourists. Wildlife conservation areas, proper, forest bodies and, forest authority should take care of whoever tourists, are there, and they should also have a note of the number of tourists visiting, where they are staying and whether they are comfortable over there. Pollution control is a very much important part and parcel of sustainable tourism. And of course, there should be a partnership between the tourist and the tourism industry. Possible inputs for community-based ecotourism: there should be creation and management of ethnic cottage facilities, guide services to the visitors, sale outlets of local products. It is a particular marketing strategy that can also, have its own role to play so far as, marketing of the local products, local produce is concerned. And that is why the local people may, reap some benefits and reap some profit and can also earn money, and that can boost their livelihood. Facilities like boating and folk dance, picnic spots, nature trials, and visit to the host village and guided bird watching. These facilities should, be in display to the tourist whoever is visiting. That is going to enhance the ecotourism all the more in a particular place. Now, who are ecotourists? Now, this particular, the tourism should be ecological friendly or eco-friendly. So who are the ecotourists? Now, in this particular pandemic times, in this COVID times, the demand for ecotourism has been boosted, and it has an important role to play. The travelers who choose ecotourism are responsible tourists interested in socio-economic and environmental sustainability of a particular area. Ecotourism appeals to a wide range of travelers of all age and interest. They seek authentic local experiences and opportunities to be, and they want to give back to the community they visit. They seek to minimize the carbon footprints of their travel, and they move with climate in mind, plan wisely, and choose their respective destination cautiously. So, as I have said that I have taken West Bengal as my case study for ecotourism. But before that, let me tell you that if ecotourism can be promoted, and especially I was talking about the pandemic areas where people just want to move away from the hustle bustle, want to move away from the busy city life. So ecotourism has been boosted. People now resort to local tourism. They do not want the fancy, foreign travel, but they want to resort to some far-flung areas, some remote areas nearby their, cities, so that they can add on to some of the sustainable tourism. So in this COVID times, the demand for ecotourism, demand for sustainable tourism has increased manifold. And that way, both the tourists as well as the local population are reaping the benefit. That is boosting not only their livelihood, but they have been enriched with rich experiences as well. So coming to my case study, that West Bengal as a ecotourism belt, let me tell you that the natural beauty of the state of West Bengal is surrounded by snow-cladded mountains on one side and lush green forest on the other side. On one side it has rolling tea gardens and ripe agricultural field of North Bengal, and at the same time it has red laterite tracts and pure shal forest, which is there in south of West Bengal. So the world's largest mangrove delta is of Sundarbans is there, which is considered to be a potential paradise for ecotourism. So West Bengal is such a state, it has been crowned with Himalayas on its north and the world's largest mangrove delta in its south. So it is a heaven for ecotourist and ecotourism belt. So I have divided the entire state as Kalimpong subdivision, which is Lava Lolegaon, to Darjeeling subdivision. We have the Lepcha, the Lepcha Ghat. Then you have the something subdivision, and you have Kuch Bihar and Jalpaiguri district to Bakura, Mukutmanipur on one hand. Then the Panchat Hills of Purulia, Bardhaman, you have Duar Sini, and Sundarbans, we have Sojne Khali. So these are some of the ecotourism spots, identified division-wise in our state. So far as the ecotourism in West Bengal is concerned, we find that for the state of West Bengal, the following 4 circuits have been identified for integral development. Like in circuit 1, you have the beach tourism circuit of Purva Mednipur, like Digha, Shankarpur, Tajpur, Jaunpur, and Mandarmani as the sea belts. We say that these are the beach, the sea belts. In circuit 2, you have the pilgrimage, circuits like Ganga Sagar. It is famous for the Ganga Sagar Mela. Then you have the Birbhum, which has several, pilgrimage destinations like Tarapit and Bokreshwar, Nalhati, Fullora, Shaitia, Kankalitala, Tarokeshwar, and Furfura Sharif. These are some of the pilgrim belts where a lot of tourists, they always flock in this particular destination. Then circuit 3, you have the nature tourism circuit like the Duars and the Darjeeling circuit, which is absolutely, it is the undulating belt where you have the hills and the the terrains which are high in its altitude. And circuit 4, if we see, it is full of Sundarban circuit, full of mangroves, where we have the Gat Khali, the Jhar Khali, the Koi Khali, and Fraserganj. These are both mangrove as well as it is like the sea, the estuary, the delta kind of, where the river is meeting the sea. So the 4 distinct circuits where the entire ecotourism of West Bengal is being divided. You can see the picture of the fishermen, after their catch, they are sorting the fishes, and on the other hand you can see the red crabs, which are very famous, and it is found in Digha belt of West Bengal South. Here we can see that on the one hand you have the beach of Digha and Mandarmani and Bakhali, and on the other hand you have the Batashia Loop of Darjeeling. So you can see the diversification from the very hills, mountains. We have the the terrain that is going, and it is the sea belt. So it is a mix and match of both in our states, luckily. Now, characteristics of ecotourism in West Bengal. West Bengal has a unique characteristics in its topography, as I was telling, stretching from Himalayan mountain range to the Gangetic alluvial plains of Sundarban mangroves in the coast of Bay of Bengal. Long unending beaches with gentle rolling sea lined with the casuarina forest makes it an unforgettable experience for the tourists. The Sundarban is declared as a World Heritage Site, recognizing exceptional biodiversity of the region. It is a home for globally endangered animals like the estuarine crocodiles, the white and the Royal Bengal tigers, the fishing cat, and the Gangetic dolphins. The nature's magic of high tide, low tide mangrove species like the rhizophores have the stilt root teach the tourist about the nature's determination to survive and sustain. West Bengal Forest Development Corporation efficiently manages a large number of such ecotourism lodge, but unfortunately, you see that recently the the constant, the cyclones which are coming from Amphan and, starting from Ayla to recent, we had Amphan, and then, the recent cyclones that is creating a havoc, Yash, creating havoc and destroying the ecotourism, the ecotourism belt. So no matter our government is trying to rebuild, but again, it is in face of another cyclone. So it is a cause of a great concern for, maintaining the undisturbed eco flora and fauna in our state. So far as, as I already have mentioned, I won't be reiterating, but the rolling doors to, it is a home, okay, for a lot of species, starting from the prawns to, the red crabs to, the rhododendrons of Himalayas, to so many, species who gently and peacefully they survive along with, the nature. So those lives are at stake because of the onslaught and repeated onslaught of the violent, cyclones and other catastrophic nature. So far as the benefits of ecotourism are concerned, ecotourism helps to conserve and preserve the untapped virgin environment from hurt and onslaught, promoting to overall development and progress. It rejuvenates a man's spirit to explore nature again and again, increase the economic benefits from intact environment, and also increases the community support for habitat conservation. It supports conservation by profit generated through ecotourism enterprises. It helps in resource mobilization, and it strengthens the interface between ecotourists and local population. Ecotourism promotes local employment by virtue of ecotourism. Lodge people get opportunity to do business through hotel and tourism. As I have already said that during COVID times, the hotel and hospitality industry have been hit hard. But because of the trend of people moving towards the local destinations, have again revived the lost revenues. And now, of course, down the line with the surge now getting lower. So again, tourism industry is seeing the light of the day, and even marketing of the local products, socio-cultural exchanges takes place. So local people have a lot of new experiences, learning experiences, as well as boosting of their own livelihoods. A lot of research and education is being conducted on biodiversity as a result of ecotourism and the footfalls. It contains a variety of agricultural activities, settlements and other uses, and a lot of NGOs and other stakeholders, they come, they work, they open their office, and they work to develop the local areas and the various resources available in that area. And it minimizes the conflict that happens in the local level, conflict between the use of resources, livelihood, local inhabitants, and also attempts to minimize such difference in opinion. So we have the environment. So I have summed up the environmental benefits, the social benefit, and economic benefit. So far as environmental benefits are concerned, that is habitat restoration, creation of wildlife sanctuaries, environmental education and knowledge in ecosystems. Social benefit, exploration of natural practices, identification and creation of local community, cultural exchanges, mainstreaming local know-hows, emphasizing the government for protection of various cultural and natural and local resources, and exchanges between urban customs and indigenous practices. So far as economic benefits are concerned, household incomes, a lot of people have opened their homestays. So, a lot of household income has increased. That has, of course, benefited and boosted the employment opportunity. It has funded the protected areas. It has increased the foreign exchange and foreign exchange reserves. Because a lot of foreign tourists have also they visit the places, and it has again started after the lockdowns, and of course it helps in the infrastructural development. To conclude, I would say that ecotourism is an eco-friendly, nature-based tourism for persons with enduring passion to admire and enjoy life in its natural best, keeping in view the conservation of natural environment and sustainability for the well-being of local people. It promotes sustainable, equitable, community-based endeavors for improving living standard of indigenous host communities. The community consider ecotourism as a source of livelihood, sustainable livelihood supplement, are not looking to compete for market, but of course to market their tourism at the best and market their products. Most often than not, government have overlooked these initiatives and have extended little support. But once the boost of this ecotourism has come into the play, of course, government is taking the entire thing very seriously. So I would thank everybody for their patient listening, and I would like to say that such ecotourism based topics should be encouraged. Lot of dimensions to be researched on. So thanks for giving me this opportunity, and once again, thank you very much.